Hello, welcome to the Inside the Birds Fantasy Football Show with Andrew DiCecco. I'm Jeff Mosher, and that, of course, is our InsideTheBirds.com staff writer and fantasy football expert, Andrew DiCecco. All right, Andy, it's we're going into week 6 here, and now we've got the bye weeks for a lot of teams among us. So, as a lot of owners will be doing, they're going to be filling holes, looking at their bench, trying to figure out the best play for them as the weeks go on. So let me ask you about a strategy here. When you have a starter who is on a bye week and you've got a bench, how do you determine the best player to fill that hole? Is it matchup driven? Is it production to a certain point? What do you look for mostly?
I look for volume, Jeff, and I also factor in the matchup, but mostly I look for opportunities and targets. I'm always mindful of that when I'm looking to fill those voids. I mean, look at someone like a Hunter Henry. If you're looking to fill the vacancy of a Kyle Pitts who's on a bye week. He's had 19 targets over the past 3 weeks, 2 touchdowns. He's someone that would be a great example as to my strategy.
Okay, interesting. As we get this deep into the season, you know that the waiver wire, the pickings get slimmer and slimmer. Is there anybody still out there right now that you think is someone that owners can capitalize on?
Yeah, number one being Chiefs running back Darrell Williams. I mean, CEH, I actually know someone who traded for Clyde Edwards-Helaire Sunday morning. So, Ooh. Yeah. But I mean, Darrell Williams is someone that you need to look to add right away and should be your top priority. You want to get a piece of that Kansas City offense. He's a bigger back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not nearly as dynamic, had 5 carries for 27 yards and a few receptions there. He's going to be worked in. The Chiefs offense scores at will. He's going to get the goal line looks. I would look to add him. Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, is another one. He's due to come off the injured reserve list, should be this week. And they just lost Sammy Watkins due to a hamstring injury. So you have to wonder, I mean, it's going to just be Marquise Brown, probably Rashad Bateman, and then you have 2 slot guys in Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. So I would look to get him in there. I think they're going to work him in right away. That'd be a good ad, a savvy ad right now. And then Hunter Henry is another player who I mentioned at the top of the show as someone who, tight end, let's face it, it's a wasteland in fantasy football. So when you see someone that's getting the volume like a Hunter Henry, you want to go ahead and add him as soon as possible. 19 targets over 3 weeks, 2 receiving touchdowns, has eclipsed Jonnu Smith as the top tight end in that offense.
Yeah, and as you look right now, at least on Yahoo, still available in 65% of fantasy football leagues. Actually, that's not true. He's rostered in 65%, so that means he's still available in 35% of leagues.
Right.
I'm not good at math. But anyway, all right, so those are some interesting pickup plays. Certainly some talent still out there for people to get. Let's look at matchups for this week. Who are players in week 6 that you think are must-start players?
Well, I want to look at a couple flex options for running back. I don't want to name any obvious ones. Darrell Henderson would be one of my biggest starts of the week. I really like his opportunity against the Giants. But looking further down, you have to look at Jamaal Williams as a player who I mentioned to you earlier this season before the fantasy football season actually started. If you look at what his opportunities really dictate, I mean, he's getting 13 carries, averaging 13 carries over the past 3 weeks. It's a near split with Swift. And he doesn't factor in quite prominently in the receiving game, but the volume's there, and they're playing a bottom top 10 run defense in the Cincinnati Bengals. Darrell Williams is another player I would look to plug in there. They're going against the Washington football team, and obviously Kansas City scores at will, and he's going to get the goal line opportunities there. Zach Moss is a player that I don't think is talked about nearly enough, the running back for the Buffalo Bills. He has eclipsed and passed significantly Devin Singletary in the snap share, and he's very consistent week to week, averaging just under 13 carries, 8 catches, a receiving touchdown, and a running touchdown over the past 3 weeks. Very consistent player there. Devontae Smith is another play of the week. I think that when you look at he had 2 touchdowns wiped out over the past couple of weeks. He just continues to break out. He's averaging 8 targets. He's going to be able to capitalize. Hopefully the Eagles take advantage of a porous Tampa Bay secondary. There's going to be opportunities there. So I would look to get him in your lineups as either a flex or as one of your primary receiver options.
Yeah, definitely. Zach Moss, you talk about that Bills offense, which has given life for fantasy owners to him and tight end Dawson Knox as well, as they
Yeah.
continue to put up a lot of points. So who are some players that we should avoid this week? Some bad matchups.
Right. And this is a player who I mentioned a couple of weeks ago as somebody that I would add and plug in. And it's sort of shows you the week to week volatility of the NFL. Derek Carr is a player who always threw for 206 yards, struggled mightily last week, is going against a tough Broncos secondary. And there's a lot of things going on within the Raiders organization right now. I think they're in a state of flux. I wouldn't play him this week. He's a mid-range option and a dart throw if you're in desperate situations.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Booker is a running back for the New York Giants who now gets an opportunity with Saquon Barkley sidelined. He's someone that's really been a journeyman, Jeff. He's had opportunities in the past with the Broncos, has not capitalized, averages just 3.9 yards a carry for his career. And they're going against the Rams. I don't know how often they're going to be running the football. It's going to be a very pass-heavy offense. Could be Mike Glennon behind center if Daniel Jones does not clear concussion protocol. So that's an option. That would be. Oh, and Chase Edmonds, the running back for the Arizona Cardinals, really struggled last week. And James Conner is really the touchdown vulture there in that offense. It's going to be a very pass-heavy approach against the Browns secondary. So he would be another fade for me.
Yeah, other than maybe a survivor league where you might want to pick the Rams against the Giants this week because of it's the Rams, right? Yeah,
Yes.
For all those matchups you talked about, they might be on Mike Glennon, they might be on the backup running back Booker, and I believe Kenny Golladay.
Kadarius Toney is a player who emerged last week, but
right.
He's also dealing with an injury, and you don't know his situation. And even with Mike Glennon behind center, I don't know how viable of an option he's going to be, as a flex play.
Right. I'm wondering does Evan Ingram become someone who's just a target monster now, just out of the lack of any other bodies around?
Yeah, and that's interesting that you said that because obviously they could be playing with a backup quarterback, and even if they're not, he's going to be that safety valve, and he's very versatile player. You can split him out wide. They don't have a lot of bodies there. He's someone that if you want to do like a desperation heave, a dart throw, especially in deeper leagues, Evan Ingram's a great option as well.
All right, there you go. That's Andrew DiCecco. You've been watching the Inside the Birds Fantasy Football Show with Andrew DiCecco. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for watching.